What's going on, guys? I'm back with another video, and this time I'm showing off a really cool multifunction distortion / overdrive pedal. This is from Master Effects, and it's the Samurai pedal. Tim saw some of my stuff on YouTube and reached out to me, asked if I wanted to check out the pedal. I said yes, because I love overdrive, distortion pedals, you name it. Really like them. I really like playing around with them and seeing how they interact with different amps, different guitars, and things like that. I think you can typically find some really cool unintended ways to reshape the voice of your amp in just kind of like that perfect way to really bring out the best in the amp. But anyways, this is what it looks like. It is very cool looking. It's got the dude committing what looks like Harry, I guess that's what it's called on there. And this pedal has a cool trick up its sleeve. It has 3 different clipping options for the type of distortion that it creates. I hope I'm using the terminology right. I'm not 100% familiar with that. But anyways, it has this 3-way switch right here. And up is silicone diode clipping. The middle position is LED clipping. And I'll show a picture of the board inside here. It actually has you can see like the little diodes, you can see the LEDs, and you can see the MOSFET chip that it uses on the bottom setting. And each of these settings has it kind of twists the sound and the voicing and the structure in its own kind of unique way. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. You already heard what it sounds like through the super lead as a clean boost. I had the volume all the way up and the gain practically all the way down, and it does very well for that. But what I've really found this pedal truly excels at is if you have just a squeaky clean amp and you hit it really hard with the distortion on this, it can really kind of turn it into a monster. So I'm going to go ahead and plug the pedal back in, and we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to clean up the Marshall a little bit. It doesn't clean up nearly as well as something, say, the Boss Katana does. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up the Marshall as best I can to kind of show it off a little bit, you know, if you have like a tube amp and want to use it that way. But then I'll change over to the Boss, and I'll keep it going running to the Splawn cabinet, which is mic'd up right now, so that I don't have to change up mics or anything like that. But you'll get to hear what it does with a totally pristine 0 overdrive or gain amp, so that you can hear just the pedal doing its thing. So I'm going to cut here, get started. Hang on. Okay, I'm back, and I've got it going to a relatively clean, I guess as clean as you can expect from Super Lead. There you go, that's clean. And I've got the a different camera pointed down at the pedal so you can see what happens when I tweak around on the pedal as I play. So here we go, it's clean. And same settings as before. just a slight push, and you know, for an already overdriven amp, that's plenty. So I'm going to back the volume down a little bit and start to take the gain up. Actually, I forgot that when you're on the silicone diode mode, you do want a generous amount of volume knob, and that's one big difference is with the silicone versus the LEDs and the MOSFET. You do get a big volume push with just turning the pedal on. Let's go to the MOSFET setting on the bottom. I'm going to back the volume back down to noon. Gain back here. I'm just going to set everything kind of back to a neutral-ish position. Again. Let me put everything back to let me put it back to the silicone setting. Volume back all the way up. I'll set the gain at noon. I'll leave the presence and tone where they are. So, and then I'll switch back from that to, I'll just switch through all three modes. Okay, so that's silicone, LEDs. Yeah, so that significantly louder of a signal. Might have been clipping on that, so if I was, my bad. And then the MOSFET. So that's one way that you can kind of tweak the sound of the gain if you want to, and the output. But it does have a couple of little changes here and there to the sound and the structure. The amount of gain that it creates is one thing, but also with them, the LED and the MOSFET just being louder, you can push the volume a different way, if that makes any sense. Like, you don't have to have it cranked all the way up. You can roll it back a little bit and give it more gain. or kind of play with the gain and the volume a little bit differently, because especially with tube amps, if you increase the gain or the level of it, you get more volume, but you also get more gain. And if you don't want as much gain from just a hotter signal from the pedal, you can afford to kind of pull it back a little bit and use just the gain setting to get more that way instead of using the level to get more gain. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's see. I'm going to go back to the offset setting. Okay, give it more gain. Back and raise the gain even more. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm going to pull the volume back down and go to the LEDs. So this is obviously, as you can hear, kind of the biggest one, biggest sounding setting of the three. And with this one, it can be kind of tricky to get unity volume between the pedal being off and on. So off. So you can hear, even with the volume below 12 o'clock, it's still loud. So try 9 o'clock here. Let's see what happens. Alright, and just get all the way up on the gain, try to get back at unity volume there. Alright, gonna switch over to the Boss. Hang on. Alright, I'm back with the Boss, and it has the my clean patch set up. So there is no gain on this whatsoever. I also turn the effects off so you can kind of get like a bone dry, but I'll add them in a little bit. So here we go. This is and this is exactly where we left off with the LEDs. So as you can hear, is a very different sounding pedal going into the Boss, especially that volume. Yes. That was rowdy. So let's try to get something kind of like Unity going here. Let's go to the muff set. It has a really good lower mid-range on the muff set setting. Go to the silicone. See if I can get a good representation of that lower mid-range I was talking about. It kind of pushes it just enough to alter the voice if you really want that nice kind of chewy low end on the bottom mid-range. It really kind of brings that out. I didn't notice it as much on the Marshall as I do on the Boss. So. And let's add a little reverb to that. So I'm gonna go back to the offset setting, try to get a good lead sound out of this, and throw a little bit of delay in there as well. guys, that's going to wrap it up. That was a hopefully a fairly comprehensive video showing off what the Samurai distortion pedal can do from Master Effects. If you have any questions, just throw them down in the comments below, and hopefully Tim will be able to answer, you know, whatever questions that you have that I may not know the answer to. I'll have the link to the product page in the video description, so if you're interested in a fairly flexible overdrive pedal slash high gain distortion pedal for your clean amp or a semi-clean amp and are really looking to kind of fire it up, this is a great option. Way better natural sounding and natural feeling distortion than a lot of the overdrive pedals that I've played. So it definitely has a lot of room depending on what you want to use it for. You heard it do a great clean boost through the Marshall. I've used it as a clean boost with the Katana on stage. I've used it as the primary distortion with the Katana on stage, and it really does hold its own as the pure distortion. Like, it does very well. So I'm really impressed with it. If you guys want to take a look at it, check it out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot.